Again, this is Joy Melendez, Director of Education and Outreach for the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey. And we're going to be moving forward with our agenda. During this hour, we are actually going to have our speakers panel. Our speakers panel is going to consist of a representative from the state, Perry Neron, Executive Director of the New Jersey Division of Disability Services. And we have Stacy Lyons, Community Integration Coordinator for the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey. And we have Tom Grady from the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey, who is our Director of Public Affairs and Advocacy, and also some CHIC representatives. So I would like to now, and at the end of the speakers panel, folks will have the opportunity to ask questions of the panelists. So now I'd like to turn the floor over to Perry Neron, Executive Director of the New Jersey Division of Disability Services. Perry?
Hi, thank you, Joy. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that I can hear. Everyone who knows me knows I'm very technologically challenged, but here I am at home this afternoon, and it's a pleasure to join you. I really want to thank you for including me in today's program. So I want to start by telling you a little bit about the Division of Disability Services. We're one of 8 divisions in the New Jersey Department of Human Services, the largest department in state government, serving thousands of New Jersey residents with a variety of social service programs and supports. DDS, the Division of Disability Services, is one of the smaller divisions, but we do meet a critical need, serving as a single point of entry for people seeking disability-related information and assistance. We aim to promote and enhance independent living through our own programs and services, and through referrals and coordination with other state, county, and local supports. So today I'm here to share information about the Traumatic Brain Injury Fund, which we do administer directly. The fund was established in 2002 through legislation and became operational in the spring of 2004. It's funded through a motor vehicle surcharge. I believe it's 50 cents on each vehicle registration. And this yields approximately $4 million per year, $3.1 million for services and administration, and just under $1 million for education, awareness, outreach, and training. So our goal is to support New Jersey residents who have survived a traumatic brain injury to obtain post-acute and rehabilitative services and supports to foster independence and maximize quality of life. So let's talk a little bit about traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs. We use the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's definition, which is a TBI is caused by a bump, blow, or jolt to the head, or a penetrating head injury that disrupts the normal function of the brain. The severity ranges from mild to severe. Nationally, 5.3 million people have a brain injury, equivalent to about 2% of the population. A brain injury occurs every 23 seconds, and 1.4 million people are hospitalized each year, 80 to 90,000 with permanent injuries. Males sustain nearly 3 times the number of brain injuries than females, and medical and long-term care costs to the nation's economy per the CDC are estimated to be about $48 billion annually. The leading causes of TBIs are falls, motor vehicle crashes, assaults, and self-inflicted injuries. Falls are the leading cause in individuals over 65 years of age, as well as children under the age of 4. Being struck by or against an object is the leading cause among 5 to 14-year-olds. A majority of TBI injuries affect a segment of the population under 35 years of age, and then rates rise sharply after age 65 due to falls. The age pattern of brain injuries is similar for all racial and ethnic groups. So another group that I want to mention before I get into the specifics about the fund is the New Jersey Commission on Brain Injury Research, which was founded in 2004 and is housed within the State Health Department. Their purpose is to accelerate research, to develop effective interventions and cures for the disabilities associated with TBIs. And according to their fiscal year 2019 annual report on brain injury research, 12 to 15,000 New Jersey residents suffer brain injuries from traumatic events each year, of which approximately 1,000 are fatal. Many TBIs go unreported. About 175,000 New Jersey residents currently live with disabilities from TBIs, and no surprise here, the personal and emotional toll on individuals with brain injuries and their families is incalculable. Since 2007, the Commission has awarded more than $41 million to scientists at research institutions and approved 113 research projects. So New Jersey really is a leader in this work. But so let me shift gears a bit and talk more specifically about the fund. So let me start with who is eligible. An applicant must be a resident of the state of New Jersey. They must provide medical documentation of having sustained a TBI based on that CDC definition, and they must have less than $100,000 of liquid assets. This is a generous and flexible program. We provide New Jersey residents of any age who have survived a TBI the opportunity to access a wide variety of brain injury-related services and supports in order to live and thrive in the community. Our goal is to foster independence and maximize quality of life when insurance, personal resources, and or public programs are unable to meet those needs. We have a vast menu of services. I'm going to run through some of them, but it's not an exhaustive list, but it includes service coordination, which is helping people to connect to things that other things that they might be eligible for, medication, cognitive therapy, neuropsychological evaluation and counseling, nursing, home health aid and companion services, psychotherapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy and speech therapy, assistive technology, household and financial management, transportation, chiropractic care, aquatherapy, biofeedback, acupuncture. We have some clients that go to day programs. We have life skills training, educational supports, respite care for families, vision care, dental care, some legal services, home modifications, durable medical equipment. And the thread among all of these services is that these services must be directly related to the traumatic brain injury. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a generous program. An applicant can receive up to $15,000 of services per funding year with a lifetime max of $100,000. Once eligibility is established, an individual can remain on the program, either actively receiving services or in an inactive status, but still maintaining their eligibility. So we have lots of clients that aren't always receiving services, but they come back and forth, and they're able to move quickly from an inactive status to an active status. A client may become ineligible if their financial situation changes, if they move out of state, or if they reach that $100,000 cap. Since the TBI fund is the payer of last resort, and this is important, should an applicant receive a settlement from a lawsuit related to their injury during their tenure on the program, they are required by the rules and regulations that govern the program to pay back the fund for the cost of services received. So who are our clients? Our clients are all ages. They live in all 21 counties in New Jersey and are in various stages of recovery or maintenance. We have individuals who sustained their injuries decades ago, as well as those who are newly transitioning from rehab back out to the community. Many have been injured through motor vehicle or motorcycle crashes, falls, domestic or other acts of violence, sports injuries, military-related events, and just about any other kind of unusual incident imaginable. The stories are compelling, they're often tragic, And there is quite a spectrum of challenges, such as behavioral issues, addiction, depression, anxiety, PTSD, just to name a few. Our clients range in functioning from really severely brain damaged with extensive needs to highly functional professionals living and working in the community who need small supports to maximize their independence, and then everything in between. We have approximately 2,350 eligible clients with 620 actively receiving services this year. And then we have nearly 10,000 individuals on our database who have applied and perhaps received some support throughout the years. As I mentioned, our division administers the fund directly. Applications come to us for staff review. If an applicant is found eligible, they are assigned to one of several case management organizations. Case managers then meet with the applicant and their family and develop a service plan of care, which is submitted and reviewed by division staff as well as by the TBI Fund Review Committee. The review committee meets monthly to review abstracts of service plans. It is comprised of, actually I'm on the committee as the DDS director, a brain injury survivor and a family member, a representative from the Brain Injury Alliance, and 2 clinicians that specialize in brain injuries. In their role as reviewers, I'm sorry, distracted by a question that came up on the screen, I apologize. In their role as reviewers, they ensure that the service request has a clear link to the TBI. They ensure that the need is appropriate, sustainable, rehabilitative in nature, and that it is a good use of fund resources. The TBI fund also has an advisory council created through statute that meets quarterly. The council consists of 26 governor-appointed members representing several state departments and 18 public members, including 8 survivors or family members for 2 to 3 year appointments. And what they're tasked with, they advise and make recommendations. They encourage citizen participation, encourage research, public awareness, education, and prevention, coordinate public and private entities, and they advise on the administration of the fund. So finally, I would like to close with some quick success stories. We recently had an emergency referral, which we do occasionally get those and really try to meet those quickly. We were able to assist a family with a home modification in order to bring their school-age son home from rehab. And everyone from the case manager to the contractor to our own staff moved this case over the course of 2 weeks that this young man was able to return home. We have young men and women attending college with the help of assistive technology or tutoring. We have individuals living independently with the help of home organization and financial management services. The program is a tremendous support to the community, and there are many individuals and families who have benefited over the years. We know there is great appreciation when the fund is included in someone's will, and we receive a monetary gift which goes right back into services. And this does happen upon occasion. So I hope I have provided a helpful overview, and I think questions and answers are after my colleagues present, but I can certainly be reached through email or by phone following this program. So again, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Perry, for being with us today. And yes, as a reminder to everybody, a question and answer will be at the end of the session. But thank you again, Perry, for that comprehensive information. Next up, we have Stacy Lyons, who is our Community Integration Coordinator for the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here with everyone on Zoom. And I've been tuning in for most of today, but if I repeat something that's already been said, please forgive me. I might not have, I missed some of the, the chat with Wendy. So I'm here to just speak about Brain Injury Alliance services, and most likely you are aware of some of these, being that you're here today. So I'm going to start with our case management programs. We offer something called support coordination, which is a little bit of a separate area. I'm not going to say too much about that, but I'm going to talk about cares and cares for kids. So cares and cares for kids means that we serve all ages. They're two separate programs, but it's the same idea. What we try to do is connect with people who have a need for some extra ongoing help with setting themselves up with services related to their brain injury. Oftentimes with kids, it's in order to help with school related issues and be part of the process of transitioning into a special education school setting for them. So we do all different things with people. And by the way, anything that I mention here today, and if it's not clear or you have further questions or you'd like to inquire about more detailed information, you can just contact us. And whoever reaches out to you or whoever you speak with will know about all these programs. So if you're interested in that, you can call us. So our information and resources helpline is something that we provide business hours, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And while our office is currently closed, we have 3 specialists who work on this helpline who are available. The calls are being forwarded to them. And our information and resources helpline is a place to call for general questions, looking for resources, looking for a referral for an attorney, looking for information about long-term care facilities that are available in New Jersey. Just looking for any information, you're welcome to call us. And I think I've spoken with a few people here today on the helpline. So thank you for calling and helping you get connected. So all questions are welcome, and including about our programs. So I believe Wendy mentioned a bit about our virtual support groups, so I will repeat a little bit. But our support groups are a great way for people to connect with others who might understand or who are going through a similar situation, as well as to share resources and be in a group setting. So typically, our like pre-pandemic, our support groups meet in almost every county about once a month. Some groups meet twice a month, and there are a variety of caregivers and people with brain injury, and all of the information is on our website. But obviously, as I'm sure you're aware, none of those groups are meeting right now. Some of them have moved to a virtual platform on their own. So within, let's say, Somerset County, that group's leader is contacting the participants and saying, here's our virtual meeting for this month. So if you're interested in a specific county group and you want to see if they're meeting virtually, you can call us and we'll let you know. And then also, I believe, as Wendy mentioned, we have right now going on some caregiver specific groups and a survivor group, and they're meeting twice a month, I believe. I know that Wednesday and Friday, we have, let's see, Wednesday, June 10th and Wednesday, June 24th is a survivor group facilitated by Wendy, who's been here today. And then we have our next caregiver group on June 19th. The other one was a few days ago. So these are great ways. Obviously, if you're here today, you're able to connect virtually. And so if you're interested, please inquire about how to hook up with those groups. I also wanted to mention something about Facebook. I don't know how many people are on Facebook, but we have private groups on Facebook, one for caregivers and one for survivors. And the person at our organization that has been managing these Facebook support groups is doing a fantastic job of providing resources, throwing out webinars that might be coming up. She's really been doing a great job. So if you're not connected with those Facebook groups, I highly encourage you to join them. And call me, call our helpline today. I'm on it if you want me to talk you through it. it might not be that obvious to find on your own, but I will be happy to help talk you through it. And then it's a private group, and you don't have to post anything, you don't have to share anything, but you'll receive information that's really valuable, especially during this time, because a lot of things have moved online. There are a lot of resources that are available right now that are good to know about that you might not know about otherwise and might not be offered otherwise. I wrote down a couple of the things Shannon has been providing. She did a Facebook Live with art and mindful breathing. She posted a virtual train ride, a webinar about the importance of board games. She posts resources, issues, virtual vacations. So I can't say enough good things about what she's doing there. And since you are online and if you are on Facebook, I encourage you to try to connect there. So I think Wendy also mentioned a little bit of our Camp Trek. Our Camp Trek is a fantastic experience, and it's been running for over 20 years. People who go have the best week ever. It provides respite to families, but this year, Trek will not be in the same format, as I'm sure you are aware. It will be online, and it's going to be great. It's going to be something that people can have a chance to do that will provide socialization, recreation, movement, and entertainment. So as I believe was mentioned, Trek is something that you don't have to have attended in the past. You don't have to have applied already. Because it is virtual this year, and if you are interested, you might meet new people. You might have a chance to receive great experiences. So please contact Laura. I believe she just posted her contact information to learn more about Trek. And this year, it is free. Normally, there's a cost to attend. It's an overnight residential camp. But this year, Trek will be free. So why wouldn't you want to take advantage of something similar today, but probably more fun and social? Not that today isn't fun, but you'll see if you attend. Trek is amazing. And Laura's going to be doing a great job of providing some good material for you all online. Okay, I'm not going to say much about Chick because Tom Grady is here and he'll be speaking next, but I do know that Chick also has moved virtual, so another opportunity to connect with what is going on with Tom and Chick. He'll tell you, I'm sure, how to get involved if you're not already. And Tom also does our legislative and advocacy work, and if you want to be involved in knowing what's going on, it's great to receive Tom's emails because he's keeping an eye on current legislation related to brain injury and how we can all become advocates to let people hear our voices, to fight for the rights that we're looking for. So if you could go to the next slide, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. I'm going to just move a little bit into some other resources, and I'm going to make quick mentions of some things that aren't exactly relevant either because of COVID or because of today. So as I mentioned, Tom works in legislative. We also have a lot of great prevention programs with seniors going into schools and doing presentations. We have a couple of great websites related to driving. We have a Champion Schools project. This is all wonderful work and concussion work and very valuable, but I'm going to move right on to the next one, talking about some of our webinars and professional trainings, because right now this is another resource that we have available on our website that you can make use of as you're a little more constricted with what you're able to do as far as going out in the community. So we have on our website an archived webinar webpage, and there's a number of webinars there over the years that we have offered of all types. So obviously not all types are going to be of interest to you, but we have pediatrics, school-related, concussion-related, nutrition. In fact, during this period of pandemic, we have provided 2 different webinars, one for seniors and one related to nutrition. And if you have the time and it's okay for you to sit in front of the screen, it's nice to know that this is something you can tune into to stay connected to information in the brain injury world, or symptoms you may be having, or resources that may be out there. So that is something you can find on our website. And if you have trouble finding it, then you can call us and we will help you talk you through it. I just made mention of e-news here because if you're not connected to e-news, it's nice to get that newsletter every month to see what's going on with the Brain Injury Alliance, as well as all the links and articles it has that we receive that we try to spread the news of. It's nice to have that. And then the last two resources are not the Brain Injury Alliance, but they are just things to know about. There's a lot of information that's out there right now that's related to coronavirus and people with disabilities, changes, rent assistance and food assistance. I can't go into all of them right now, nor do I have all the resources everywhere. So I wanted to just kind of put two main ones. So there's New Jersey 211, which is a general resource line that can help you connect with housing information, homelessness prevention, utility assistance, if you might be facing any of those. And as well as there's a COVID hotline, and those are listed there. And then lastly, which is very important, we have, but there is free mental health telehealth available that has arisen, I believe, just as a result of what's going on right now. And it's through New Jersey Mental Health Cares. And the number is here, 866-202-HELP. And so that's something that's available for you to make use of if you don't have any other supports, you need someone to speak to, you're struggling with something, it is there and available for you. So I hope this information is helpful and useful. And if anything here is unclear, if you have any questions or you need any help, please call us at our number. But okay, that's it.
Well, Stacy, thank you so very much for that wealth of information for everybody. I will now turn it over to Tom Grady and representatives of CHIC to discuss CHIC, who you are, what you do, and to talk a little bit about membership. Tom? Tom, please unmute yourself.
There we go. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to be with you today, and thank you, Joy, for doing a good job here, and the whole team for that matter. As Joy mentioned, I'm Tom Grady. I'm the Director of Advocacy and Public Affairs for the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey. Been with the Alliance since around 2002. I'm here today to discuss CHIC, which stands for the Council for the Head Injury Community. And one very broad and general way to think of CHIC, it's a committee basically that advocates for the needs and concerns of people impacted by brain injury. That could be the person impacted by brain injury. It can be family members who are impacted by brain injury. And we encourage any and all people to get involved. And the formal mission of it, I'll read it directly, is to champion and publicize the advocacy rights and needs of people who have survived a brain injury. So think of us in terms of a platform through which people can offer up ideas for systems change that could help the entire brain injury community. And pardon me. And over the years, people have thought of CHIC in a few ways. One way is it gives them a sense of empowerment, that they're learning something, they're able to teach something, they're able to learn something. Another way, we have had social events, not too often, but every now and again we have social events, but often through our meetings, whether it's through in person, whether it's through now virtual, it is a social setting in one sense. And we do conduct, obviously, brain injury business, but I think it does also serve as a way for people to get out into the community. And lastly, it's educational. And I'm going to talk about an event we operate in a few moments, but CHIC does serve as an educational component, meaning that we offer during the course of a month a lot of information resources we get from the outside world that could benefit people with brain injury. We could range from disaster preparedness planning to food benefits to other types of benefits that can help people who are involved with our organization and in the broader brain injury community. And the best thing about this, it doesn't cost anything to join. I mean, really, the only thing you have to do is somehow be impacted by brain injury, or even have an interest in brain injury to get involved. And probably the best way to get involved is to simply offer up your email address. I'll put you on a listserv. That way you get the regular updates for CHIC, and then get updates related to information, resources, activities that may be useful to you. But I think one important way to think about CHIC is that of a two-way street. You know, on one hand, we do send out information, resources, activities to people. But on the other hand, we need to hear from the brain injury community. We need to hear what you all think should be done to help benefit all persons impacted by brain injury. And again, that can range from what I hear a lot of times is transportation issues, housing issues. We hear stuff regarding a TBI fund. There's really no short list of items that we don't hear in some way, shape, or form over the past X number of years. So I just would like to say, you know, keep it in mind that it's a two-way street. We provide information to you, you provide information to us, and we try and address it to the best of our ability. In terms of logistics, lately, obviously, we've been meeting virtually, and typically we meet the first Saturday of each month. It's on the even number months at JFK, Hartwick, and Oak Tree, and we meet the odd number months on the first Tuesday at Opportunity Project in Milburn. But right now, it's kind of a moot point. If you do want to get involved, you'll get on the listserv, you'll get the updates of when we're having meetings. But we do have those meetings in those two areas. Again, JFK, Hartwick, and Oak Tree, Opportunity Project in Milburn. And it's good because we got a different group of people for two different locations. So incidentally, the next meeting will be tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., virtual, of course. And if you're interested in attending, please send me your email address. I'll put you on a listserv, send you the information, and you can get involved. I'd like to point out, I'm speaking a little bit extensively today because one of our CHIC chairman and board member, Richard Anderson, who happens to be here today, he wasn't too sure if he was going to be able to speak today, but I do want to point him out, recognize him. Richard's been our chairman for the past several years. I'm not too sure how long it's been now, but he is, to say the least, a very energetic, enthusiastic, and committed chairman to this group. So Richard, good to see you. I know you weren't too sure whether you're going to be here today, but I just want to acknowledge you. And we would like to point out another board member, Mike Greenwald, who is here. And Mike is also a board member. He is the co-founder of CHIC, which goes back a number of years ago. But most importantly, Mike's claim to fame is he is the famous Mike at the mic. And for those that smile from, now Mike will elaborate on this in a few moments, but the idea of Mike at the mic, it's one of our educational offerings. Basically what we do is we have a concept that we want to focus on, and we have a panel discussion. Mike fields questions from the audience, poses them to our panel members. Panel members respond, and hopefully there's interaction between panel members, the audience, through Mike. It works out really well, and Mike will elaborate on this in a couple of minutes. I mean, we've been doing this, Mike, I don't know for how long, quite a long period of time, since I've been here at least. But some of the examples of Mike at the mic sessions we've had have been definition of friendship, brain injury, something that is shared, not solved, transportation and its connection to brain injury, and then perspectives of people with brain injury in the workplace. And that's not an exhaustive list. That is just a few of the many sessions we've done over the years. So with that said, I'd like to turn it over to Mike. Mike, maybe you want to say a few words to amplify the importance of Mike at the mic and how valuable it is to the brain injury community.
Okay, thanks so much, Tom. I want to thank you very much for all of your help over the years, by the way. And Chick could not exist without somebody from Brain Injury Alliance to go along with it. And you're probably the best that we've ever had. And I think also I want to thank our chairman right now. He's been doing a fantastic job over the past couple of years. And again, it keeps Chick afloat. The one thing I just wanted to mention, because usually at meetings, they ask me to talk about Mike at the Mic, and a lot of people don't know what it is. Some people in the audience have been to Mike at the Mic, and therefore they are familiar. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. I started Mike at the Mic back in 1992, when Chick was, let's just say, on its early stages. I did it with the cooperation of the people who were big in Chick at the time, one of them being Mimi Goldman, who was one of my best friends.
Excuse me, if I could just interject for a minute, if we could make sure that our statements are 2 minutes or less, just so we can allot time for question and answer, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you another minute and a half, and that's it. Okay?
Oh, as long as you want, Mike.
Anyway, I had to come up with something for the seminar, and I came up with something that was based, for some people who are a little older would remember, an old Phil Donahue show. And the old Phil Donahue show, what they did, they found a topic, they interviewed a panel, and then Phil Donahue ran around the audience with a wireless microphone, having the audience ask questions. So I gave it a shot. And evidently it was really like that year, because they asked me back the next year and the next year. And except for 2 years when Mimi passed away, we've done Mike at the Mic every single year since about 96. And that's a little bit long. Anyway, but not as long as my statement is going to be. No, I apologize. Anyway, all I wanted to say is Mike at the Mic has a panel that's usually, if not all brain injured people, has people that have a stake to the brain injury. And it really is a lot of fun. Anybody who's been there would know that if you want to talk about brain injury, Mike at the Mic is the place to come to do it. Audience gets involved, panel gets involved, and as far as I'm concerned, everyone is involved. And all I can do is thank all the people who ever come, and I hope you keep on coming. And I thank you, Richard, and I thank you, Tom, and I thank the Brain Injury Alliance so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Good to hear from you. Good to see you. And I'm going to change gears from Mike to Mike and offer up some of the important points of Chick. As Stacy mentioned earlier, part of my job is dealing with legislative matters and government relations and that type of thing. So what those worlds kind of cross over between public policy and Chick. We have a congressional agenda for the federal government. We have a legislative agenda for the state government, and I can provide that to anybody who's interested in case anything is of interest to you, bill-wise, legislative-wise. You may want to advocate for those bills or interact with your own legislators, which is something I can also help out with. I can help prepare you to interact with people at the federal level, at the state level. I know one member here, I helped her get prepared for a meeting, and which turned out quite well, I think. So if anybody's interested in learning more about our public policy agenda, I can definitely send that to you. There are a couple items that we are focusing on. In Trenton right now, it is budget season, which they're preparing a new budget for the next fiscal year. And we want to make sure that some of our funding interests are maintained, namely TBI fund and community services. So to that end, it's important to hear from you as to how these services actually benefit you and how you think they benefit the broader brain injury community. But if you're interested in learning more about that and getting involved, or you have any questions about government relations or public policy, you can also send me an email address, your email address. I'll make sure I push you on our network, our legislative and advocacy network, so you get input in that regard. And one final note about CHIC before I turn it over is, although CHIC is not a support group, it does serve as a way to kind of at times vent, get things out on the table, have discussions about things that are going on in your lives. And that speaks to, I think, this is the social component of CHIC. And I know one of our CHIC members is here today, who's relatively new, but nonetheless actively involved. And his name is Scott. Scott, how you doing? I know you want to have a statement about CHIC and about the fall family, the family conference.
Yeah, sure, Tom. So some of you know me. I suffered my brain injury in the summer of 2017, right after I came down with a bad case of pneumonia. I ended up collapsing, hitting my head on the way down. It's a very long story. That's the very short version. So anyway, so the TBI I suffered was diagnosed as mild, but the disruption to my life wasn't. So although my motor skills and cognitive thinking were pretty much intact, my sensory system was out of whack and I became very emotionally unstable. I spent about a year and a half going to hospitals, staying with relatives, and ultimately ending up in an assisted living facility. But towards the end of 2018, I finally started to pull the pieces together in my life with the help of the Brain Injury Alliance. And I worked towards independence. And right around the time I moved to a new apartment in Somerville, I discovered CHIC attending the last family conference, at least the one that was in person, back in 2018. And I found out about CHIC. I remember Tom Grady speaking, and and I thought it sounded like a good fit for me. So I've pretty much been attending the meeting. I haven't been doing the virtual meetings. It's a little tough for me to be on the computer for meetings, but when we were doing in person, I attended just about every month, and since then, I have been as active in the brain injury community as possible. And I think that CHIC is a great advocate for the types of issues that can go unnoticed for brain injury survivors, such as transportation, various forms of funding. On a personal note, I was honored to sit on the last Mike at the Mic panel last year to discuss relationship changes after brain injury. And that was a really great experience. I even met up with some other groups, so it was an unintentional but much welcome social networking event for me. And I'm very proud to be a member of CHIC, and I look forward to helping Tom, Rich, Mike, and everyone else whenever and wherever I can.
Thanks, Scott. Glad to have you, and hope to see you hopefully in person soon. Virtually is a little bit challenging, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We'd like to thank CHIC and the representatives for speaking today.